evening, everyone, and welcome to this regular board meeting on August 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Estill County Board of Education boardroom located at 253 Main Street in Irving, Kentucky. At this time, I'd like to welcome everyone and call this meeting to order. We always start by saying our pledge, so if we could stand and say our pledge. Do I have some girls that want to come back up and help lead? Do you want to come up front and help lead?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you for that. I'd like to remind everyone there's a sign-in sheet at the entrance to the boardroom if you'd like to sign in. Do we have any revisions to this agenda, Mr. Brock?
We do not.
Okay. Moving right along. First, we have our facilities and construction update, and we have several items for consideration for approval. Mr. Brock?
So the first one is consideration for a selection of an architect just for the K-Fix and the DFP process. This is not for projects. This is totally separate. We've already selected DECO and been working with them. But this is for the DFP process, which is Mr. Simpson and Mr. Reese are working on, which is going to be due next year. We're just trying to get ahead of it. So it's my recommendation that we also select DECO for this DFP process.
Okay. So with that discussion, I need a motion for approval of the selection of an architect for K-Fix and our district facility planning process. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any discussion or any questions? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Item B on our agenda is consideration for approval of the contract for K-Fix and the DFP process.
So this is the DFP contract, and it'll be between us and the architect for the DFP. It comes from KDE. You pull it down and sign it. It's my recommendation we approve DECO in this contract.
Okay. So after discussion, I need an approval for the contract of the K-Fix and DFP process. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Do I have a second? Sheila Samples makes a second. Do I have any discussion? If not, I need a motion. I need to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Item C on our agenda is consideration for approval of a proposed amendment contract to A&E Services agreement of the student relocation modular installation in the new middle school with DECO Architects.
So this is just a formality. We probably could have done this anyway, but I wanted to bring it before the board because this is specifically for the temporary site. DECO has already done some work on the site plans and stuff for that. They've done that in coordination with Eric Gibson and Kentucky Emergency Management. However, Kentucky Emergency Management did not have a contract with DECO, so paying them for that work up to this point needs to go through our contract. Now, Emergency Management is going to send us an MOA. They're going to pay us, and we'll pay DECO. But we could have done this anyway under our existing contract because they are our architects, but I wanted to bring it before the board because it specifically is for this temporary site, and it is a little bit of amendment to the original agreement. So it's my recommendation we approve.
So with that, I need consideration, or I need a motion for approval of the proposal as discussed by Mr. Brock. Do I have a motion? Carrie Smallwood makes a motion. Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do I have any questions or any discussion about this? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. 5-0 vote. Next on our agenda, that brings us down to our action items. First on our agenda is consideration for approval of change in bank signatures. We go through this every year when the new school year starts.
Yep.
Mr. Brock, do you have any comments?
It's just anybody who can sign checks at the district and the local school level. We've hired some new assistant principals. We've got new bookkeepers, and we have to, the board has to approve it, then we have to go to the bank and get those signatures. It's my recommendation we approve to update bank, change in bank signatures.
Okay, I need a motion and a second for approval of change in bank signatures. Do I have a motion? Sharon Whitaker makes a motion, Sheila Samples makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If nothing further, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Item B on our agenda is consideration for approval of the second reading of our policy 09.214.
This is the policy that Mr. Norton brought to us last month on the toilet training. It's my recommendation we approve.
I need a motion for approval of the second reading of policy 09.214. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of the following handbooks. And can we do these all
We
as one
can.
motion? We have our substitute teacher handbook, our employee handbook, and our coaches handbook. And these have just been revised for the school year.
Correct.
Mr. Brock, do you have any further?
Just revised for the school year. It's my recommendation we approve.
I need a motion for approval of the following handbooks, the substitute teacher, the employees, and the coaches. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any questions or any discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? And are these handbooks available on our
They are
website?
available online, yes.
Okay. Item D on our agenda is our proposed 2026 tax rate. First is real and personal, and second is vehicle and watercraft.
Yeah, so the process is a little bit different this year because the legislation changed the kind of the way that we do it. So we will propose a rate tonight, and then we'll have to come back and have a special call board meeting in 2 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, and actually set the rate. After we got the rate from the state, from KDE, we're going to be able to lower taxes overall again this year, which I'm glad that we're able to do that. It's my recommendation that we set the real estate at 49.1, and we set personal property at 50.1 with exoneration. And this also, you know, every year we do this, this also includes the other taxes which have been doing for years, the telecommunication, there's, I don't know, there's a list this long, but yeah. But that's my recommendation and my proposal. And overall, it'll lower the tax rate by 1/10 of a point.
Okay. So, I need a motion to move forward with the proposed 2026 tax rate with the understanding we'll come back in 3 weeks after it's announced, and we'll have a special call board meeting. Real and personal and vehicle watercraft, as Mr. Brock discussed, was 49.1 and 50.1. Sheila Samples makes a motion, Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any questions or any discussion? Okay, if nothing further, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Item E is consideration for approval of the following out-of-state school trips. We have Tennessee Titan Learning Lab in Nashville, Tennessee, and the high school softball team wants to travel to Fort Walton Beach in Destin, Florida during spring break in April of 27.
So the trip to the Tennessee Titan Lab, I think there's 25 kids, 20-some kids that's going. Miss Sutter and I think Mr. Moore will be the chaperones for that. It's a STEM lab in Nashville. It's out of state, so it has to have board approval, but it'll also be overnight travel because they're going to go down a day early. Great opportunity for our kids, and I think it's a good thing. Our softball team wanting to travel to Fort Walton Beach. It'll be a great trip for them. They'll get some good games in and good practice down there. It's my recommendation that we approve both.
Okay. So, after discussion of those two trips, I need a motion for approval of the 2 out-of-state trips to Nashville, Tennessee, and Fort Walton Beach in Destin, Florida. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Sheila Samples makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor of allowing the students to go on those trips? Any opposed? Motion carries. Pack your bags, Ronnie.
I'm assuming you didn't come in opposition of that.
Do you need chaperones?
Start the fundraising. So next on our agenda is item F. We have consideration for approval of the 26-27 Head Start Certificate of Full Utilization in their MOA. Mr. Brock?
This is MOA with CAC for Head Start. We approve one every year. We've got partnerships with them. It's my recommendation we approve.
Okay. I need a motion for approval of the 26-27 Head Start Certificate. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Carrie Smallwood makes a second. Do we have any questions, any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Item G on our agenda is consideration for approval of the 26-27 salary schedule, and give us an update, Mr. Brock.
So we just approved this, I think, last month or the month before, but when we go over it, sometimes we find errors and different things that we need to approve. We found an inconsistency in the way some things were being paid. It's just an update to that to make sure that things are equal across the board. It's my recommendation that we approve.
Okay. I need a motion for approval of the 26-27 salary schedule changes and update. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If none, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us down to our consent items. We have approval of our minutes from July board meeting. We have our treasurer's report and our superintendent's travel.
So, obviously, the minutes, it's my recommendation we approve them. The treasurer's report, there's not a whole lot to report because we just started a new fiscal year. You all have that in front of you and you can look over it. You can see we have saved about $4,000. You will notice that there is more expenditure in one item there out of the general fund. We had to spend $43,000 in July to update an alarm system, and we had no choice on that. Kudos to Mr. Reese and to Mr. Simpson for kind of getting two companies to compete against each other, and the price came way down from what the original proposals were. So I thank them for that. That's the reason that you see the difference there. There'll be a better report as the months go on. You can actually see where we're at. But this is something that we want to continue to do so that you all can see where we're at. In July, we still had a net gain of about $4,000, a little over $4,000. So. And then I think since last board meeting, no, it was a special call meeting, so I'd been to KSA either that week, I think it was the week prior to that, and have been to CKEC, so.
Okay. So I need a motion for approval of our consent items as discussed. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Tammy Hardy makes a second. Any questions or discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us down to our superintendent report. Give us an update, Mr. Brock.
So, I mean, I think it's been a really good start to the school year. It's been pretty smooth at all schools and all levels. Transportation, the first few days was a little bit of a challenge, not because of anything with the bus garage or drivers or anything like that, but because we had storms every night. And so there was trees in the road and they've had to go cut those out. We do have something new as far as transportation comes. We've got a GPS monitoring system on our buses, and when we get it all nice and rolled out, parents will be able to go on our website and be able to see exactly when their kid is being dropped off and exactly where the bus is. So, and then it'll also help us with efficiencies on our bus routes and maybe help us save some money there. Enrollment, compared to the end of the year last year, we are down. We're down probably right at 50 kids. And Mr. Norton had done this, it's like a 2.3% reduction. But we graduated 167 kids, and we've only got 114 in kindergarten. So hopefully we can find some more kindergarten kids, or we can draw some more kids in. This is right along the lines that I have projected, so we're not overstaffed. I think we were within, I looked at it today, maybe 12 or 14 kids total when you look at all the schools. It may be a little bit more than that. So we still projected correctly and got all of that right. I was trying to see here. We've got, I think, we've got all of our teachers. We've got a pair we need to hire. We do have a custodial position posted here. And, we're going to start prep, hopefully, next week on the middle school. Temporary campus, I was in a meeting last week with emergency management and DECA, not to be confused with DECO, who is our architects. But there was a little bit of, I don't want to say a little bit of fighting, but there was a little bit of having to work between the two on figuring out for them to get a contract directly with DECO architects to work, because there's some statute that says architects can't be hired without going through DECA and so on and so forth. But I think that was a productive meeting. Mr. Yost was on there with me. I've talked to Mr. Toby today, and we should start seeing dirt moved for that temporary campus next week. I am going to do a video to keep everybody updated on that and to also show them what this temporary campus is going to look like. I'm afraid that a lot of people in the community have the same idea that I had when I heard modular classrooms. They think about the old brown metal building out back that you have to walk out to that has no bathrooms or anything like that. That's not the case at all. This is a facility. It'll have hallways just like a school. It'll have bathrooms just like a school. There'll be tech closets. There'll be custodial closets. The classrooms will be big size. And like I said, I've got a video of that. There's also been some concern about talking about, once we get moved to the modular classrooms, about safety as far as weather and stuff like that goes. We've thought of that as well. There is a permanent building that's going to be built on site that will serve as a storm shelter, and every student will be able to get in it. When I say a storm shelter, anytime you build a new school in the state of Kentucky now, you have to have storm shelters that are certified, and they have to have metal doors that'll take a certain amount of wind and stuff like that. It's relatively new, and any building that was built before this statute come along doesn't have a storm shelter, but any new building will, and this will serve as the storm shelter. It will probably take a little bit longer to build that since it's brick and mortar, but there is a plan to have buses ready to transport students to schools to be in a safe location in the event of severe weather. And we will practice that before severe weather comes along. So once I get a little bit more information on dirt being moved, I will do that video. I will show the community, and then from time to time I will do videos or posts to keep the community up to date.
Okay, anybody have any further?
With the reduction in number of students, do you contribute anything to like out-migration or homeschool, or have you seen an increase in that, or?
Definitely in homeschool. We got about 200 kids on homeschool.
Oh, really?
It's not just a Estill problem. I mean, it's across the state. And when I say problem, I don't mean it's a problem. I mean, we see more people going to homeschool across the state. And then population decline. And, we're up a little bit from an enrollment, overall enrollment at our preschool center, but our 4-year-olds there's not a lot of them. So everybody says there's COVID babies out there, but we've not found them. So we had projected 60. I'd projected 60 per school, and I think we got a total of 114, so we was off about 6 there.
Do you have any further? Okay. If not, that moves us along to our principal's report. Let's see, who has the microphones. So we'll start with the high school and Mr. Singleton, if you've got some good news to tell us.
All right, yeah, he said he's gonna put the image up on the screen, but you all have a paper copy of it as well, so I'll go ahead and start. We've been off to a great start. The energy at the high school is awesome. I am super blessed to be able to work with faculty and an admin team that's leading the charge, and the kids are doing some phenomenal things already. I took some pictures, I didn't put them on here, but we had some real engaging, deep teaching on the first day of school.
Yes.
And that's awesome. I know Mr. Brock and Mr. Cornett were in the building too, and they saw that going on, and I just want to brag on my staff and the kids for that. And I brought this for you all. So we had two main instructional areas of emphasis for this year and a cultural area of emphasis. So our two areas of instructional emphasis are, we've done a lot of training with David Young and the 7 components of a highly effective classroom. And that's our first instructional emphasis, is hitting those 7 steps, chunking out those lessons so that kids can not have to sit through the lecture style classroom of old, but get into a more engaging environment that not only triggers their prior knowledge, but also helps them learn new things in a new way. So that's our instructional emphasis number 1. Number 2 is using assessments to guide our instruction. We've tested. Testing has happened in schools forever, but we really want to make the shift from not just testing to get a grade, but testing to know where our kids are so that we can move them forward based on their scores. And our cultural emphasis, we're calling it the engineer way, and that is just the vision and the belief that all students can excel in everything they do, and not just students. You see there, we have that expectation for teachers and staff and of ourselves as administrators as well. So we know that as administrators, we are going to lead from the top down, and everybody is doing phenomenal in that aspect. So there's a lot to read there, digest it. I'll answer any questions you may have, but we've got a great start to the school year.
Thank you, Mr. Singleton. Next, we have Ms. Shayla.
Hello. I'm representing the middle school. We have our principals are currently on their way to access to algebra training. That's the grant that we received last year for our math department. So they are getting that training. We actually had our math teachers this summer do that training and get those resources, and are ready to dive into that and to implement those into our classrooms. So we're excited that they're there and having that opportunity. We wanted to touch base. We wanted to emphasize that our football team just beat Powell County to start their season off, and we're very proud of them for that. 6th and 7th grade girls basketball, 6th and 8th grade girls basketball are undefeated, and 7th grade has a winning season. So gotta give those student athletes some credit for their hard work. Super pumped for our back to school night. We welcomed 404 students and their families into our building. There were a lot of people there, but that just shows me there's a lot of people who love their kids and want to support them. So we're really excited about that. Our students are currently iReady diagnostic testing for reading and math, and they're also doing benchmark assessments for science and social studies. So our teachers are looking at that data so that we can really hone in on what we need to be focusing on, so we can make sure that we are planning our lessons and using those seven components of a highly effective lesson in accordance to what our students truly need. And so we are seeing those gains, we're seeing the data coming in, and we are ready to just hit the ground running with that. But our teachers have been doing a fantastic job laying that foundation and really going over those procedures and doing all the heavy lifting so that we can have a smooth running school year, getting those procedures underway, especially for the transition to middle school from elementary school. It's a big transition. So our teachers are working hard, our students are working hard, and we are just really excited to see what our engineers are going to accomplish this year.
Thank you, Shayla. Next, we have Ms. Beard, and she's representing Estill Springs Elementary.
And Estill Springs is also off to a really good start. We've got a couple of activities that We wanted to showcase that we did this summer. We had our kindergarten camp at the end of July, where the majority of our kindergarten students showed up, and that's just kind of mimicking what a school day would look like, so the students could have a really calm atmosphere to go through that to help calm their nerves before they started. We have to thank Ms. Shay Walker, our Family Resource Center coordinator. She also did a summer activity where they built birdhouses with students and families at Mountain Crest. And we also had a little library installed at the front of our building where you are encouraged to take a book or leave a book. So that's been something exciting added to our building. First day of school, we had our Boohoo Woohoo breakfast for our parents that dropped off their kindergartners. Little bit of tears, but it was a very exciting day. Our kindergartners have done amazing. Not too many tears the past few days, so it's been good. Our back-to-school night was also very successful. We had a lot of families there, and we want to thank our community partners for showing up for that as well. We had a lot of people there that evening. Teachers have been going over classroom expectations the first few days of school. Again, just making sure that students understand, especially our kindergartners, what the school day looks like, cafeteria expectations. They're doing a great job of reiterating those and really praising the kids for doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we have finished our reading mastery placement test, and we're going to begin those groups next week with our students because we feel that's a very impactful program helping our students learn how to read. So that's getting ready to take place. Ms. Mays and I have really enjoyed going into our classrooms. They are truly starting in and going with our theme of space, launching into learning very quickly. Lots of good things. Every class is very engaging. The kids are actively involved. It's been amazing. And then just a couple of important dates that we will be having upcoming over the next couple of weeks. We did begin our iReady testing, and that should be complete with the exception of makeups after tomorrow. And then tomorrow is our Engineer Spirit Day, and we're going to have face painting provided by 4th grade. And then September 4th, we're going to welcome our grandparents for the Grandparents Parade. September 9th is our High Attendance Day and our Picture Day. And then something that wasn't on here but recently talked about was Safe Schools Week will be September the 14th through the 18th. So we'll make sure that we implement some things in our building for that as well.
Next, we have Ms. Miller from West Irvin Elementary.
Well, we are 7 days into school, and we have had a great start. Over the summer, we revamped our school-wide expectations to align a little better with the other schools in the district. All of the other schools use track, so we changed ours as well. We got our teacher input, and we have new school-wide expectations. They are trustworthy, responsible, act safely, caring, and keep trying. So our students have been doing a great job really learning that. You can see on our Facebook page that we've got a brand new pledge that they've been memorizing, and just we're really proud of what we're seeing with their behavior so far and how our teachers are really working to make sure everyone knows those expectations and that we're ready to roll. We've done a lot of fun activities as we have started to make new friends and get back to school. Some of our favorites are always our spaghetti and a hot dog bun that our second graders always do, and I love being in their classrooms and seeing that. We've done dinosaur digs to go with our back-to-school dinosaur theme. Our third graders made candy salad. Our kids have really enjoyed being back in the cafeteria, eating breakfasts and lunches. One of the things that we are actually trying this year is we're allowing our third, fourth, and fifth graders to eat in the cafeteria all together, third grade, and pick where they sit as an incentive for their behavior to continue to stay strong, as well as to help with some of the behavior in there. And it has really worked really well so far. They've really enjoyed it, and they understand the privilege there of growing up a little and having that responsibility. So we've really just enjoyed seeing that new system into play too. We've gone through our emergency drills, which is, of course, extremely important for our first week of school, and our kids did amazing. They rocked them out this year. And then our iReady testing has begun. We are actually finished with ELA testing, and hopefully technology will help us out, and we'll be finished with math tomorrow. Our plan is to start our reading mastery sessions next week, as well as our new station teaching models. So we're really excited to get into that and just dig into that instruction. Our teachers have been working so hard over the summer, so hard over the last few weeks, and it's truly been an amazing 7 days, and I just feel very blessed to be at West. And just one more thing, at West, we always do our best.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. We have South Irvin. Is that right?
I put our enrollment at the top. I heard somebody mention about our enrollment being up. That's our enrollment numbers right now. Our 2-year-olds are not there yet. They come on their 3rd birthday. So those will enroll soon. We have 3 rooms with 3-year-olds and 4 rooms with 4-year-olds right now. Our 4-year-old rooms are pretty full, fuller than they have ever been since I've been there. There's some pictures of open house. We had our open house the 2nd day. We had it on Thursday of last week. And those are some decorations that West Irvin let us borrow. Thank you for that. And so those decorations go up, and then the next day they come down because we at preschool don't have anything that doesn't have purpose. So we took those down, brought them back to West Irvin, and now we're back to our plain classrooms. And then you can see those classrooms over on the right. Our first day of school was yesterday. It was really fun, and it went by really quickly. Some of the most interesting things are what the parents hand you when they get out of the car and what's in their lunchbox. And I won't tell you because it might identify some kids, but it is funny what the things that they bring to preschool. You can see that on the bottom left picture, those kids are learning to write. We went through some training, learning without tears. We had used some of that in the past, but we got officially trained on the first day of school for the rest of the district. So we start a week later, and what we do during those 5 days is our staff goes to elementary schools 2 days. One of those days is to assess the children there for grants, and then they have their home visits. They usually will be able to get all of their home visits in before school starts. This year, they did not have enough time to do that. Most of them didn't get them all done because some have 20 kids. So we still need to get into the homes of some of the kids. But all the families have been met at this point. They just haven't received a family visit. We do have our first upcoming event in the top right corner there is Touch a Truck. That's our biggest event of the year. We do that in September. We have the biggest turnout. That's all that's going on at South Urban right now. We're 2 days in.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Thank you all for those exciting reports, and we're so glad that the school year's kicked off with a boom. And like we always like to say on the board, it's a great time to be an engineer. So thank you all for all your hard work and getting the students back. And it sounds like lots of fun things are going on. Next, that brings us to our board member forum. Do we have any comments, questions, anything we need to discuss? No? Okay. Mr. Simpson, do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am. Oh, wait. No, we do. We do, but it is not related to the board agenda, so I'll forward to Mr. Rocker.
Thank you.
Well, if nothing further, I'd like to say that it's wonderful to have some children in our board meeting. We have Mabel Jane here, and we have little Charlie here. So it's so good to see you all. Thank you for coming. And at this time, I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn. Sheila Samples, and I need a second. Tammy Hardy. So all in favor? This meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all for your attendance. Did I go fast enough?
You did great.
Did I go
That
fast
was a
enough?
pretty good agenda. We got through it.
If we'd been like in past, we'd be here 2 hours.
I had a folder full of papers, but they're all gone. They're here. Oh, you got them?
I just moved them out of the way.
I was like, what did I do with those?